The Jade stream meandered softly through Wilson County, its ripples typically serene and welcoming. On this specific May Day, however, recent downpours had engorged the flow, transforming the tranquil brook into something fiercer. Sofia Rodriguez lingered on the shoreline, her raka tunic echoing the richer hues of the water. She had stopped at the picturesque vista to capture images of wild blossoms for her modest yet blossoming nature journal. A noise struck her first, the shrill squeal of brakes, then the smash of steel and shards. Sofia's pulse surged as she spun to witness a crimson truck swerving off highway above, rolling down the slope and diving front first into the raging stream. "Oh, heavens," she murmured, already dashing toward the water's brink, her phone abandoned on the earth behind. The vehicle was submerging swiftly, its scarlet frame glinting under the waves as liquid flooded through the glass. Without pause, Sofia stepped in, thankful for the swimming skills her dad had drilled into her youth. The ice current jolted her senses, but urgency drove her onward. Reaching the truck, she spotted a man inside, awake but wrestling with his safety strap, the compartment swiftly filling, their gazes locked through the driver's pane. He sported a Stetson, now tilted, and a look of fear that softened faintly at her presence. Sofia tugged the door's latch and held fast. The man gestured to the opposite side. She nodded, inhaled deeply, and plunged below the surface, battling the torrent to reach the other door. This time, it yielded. Water surged into the cab quicker now, but it offered entry. The man was frantically yanking at his belt, which seemed stuck. Sofia reached in, her fingers locating the buckle underwater. Together, they freed it. The cowboy shifted stiffly, grimacing. His leg was hurt, perhaps fractured. "I've got you," Sofia said, unsure I've heard over the water's roar. "Drape your arm over me." He obeyed, and they shoved away from the sinking truck, which vanished below with a last sorrowful bubble. The current tugged them downstream, but Sofia assisted, swimming strongly toward the bank, one arm securely around the stranger's hips. By the time they reached the shore, both were panting. The cowboy slumped onto the soggy soil, his hat miraculously still on, water dripping from his navy shirt with brown sooty chins. Now safe, Sofia could see him clearly, rugged jaw dusted with scruff, deep eyes, and a frame that hinted at decades of toil. "Thank you," he gasped between heavy breaths. "I'm Luke Carver." "Sofia Rodriguez," she answered, brushing damp strands from her brow. "We need a hospital." Luke shook his head. "Just a twist, I reckon, nothing shattered." He flinched as he moved, but added, "I'd take a lift to town, though." Sofia drove him to the Quite Health Center in Wilson Creek, where the physician verified his guess: a severe ankle sprain, plus scrapes and bruises, but nothing permanent. Luke stayed reserved during the checkup, responding courteously to the doctor, but sharing little else. When she offered to take him home, he pointed her to the town's inn instead. "Just traveling through," he said with a faint grin that didn't touch his eyes. Sofia wondered about his tale but held back from probing. She gave him her contact number in case he needed help while in town. "I can't thank you enough," Luke said as she ate dead into the motel door. "Anyone would've," Sofia replied. He shook his head gravely. "No, they wouldn't." 3 days later, Sofia had nearly persuaded her the bizarre rescue was a figment. She resumed her routine, mornings at the local cafe where she served, afternoons devoted to her camera and journal. The spring blooms were radiant now, splashing the landscape in vivid shades that felt too bright for her slightly somber mood. On the 4th day, a note arrived at the cafe, summoning her to the County Courthouse at 2 o'clock with no details. Curiosity won, and at the set hour, Sofia ascended the steps of the grand brick structure. A clerk guided her to a CASA meeting room where Luke Carver stood waiting. He rose as she entered, his limp gone, his Stetson on the table beside him. He wore a sharp navy shirt, Like the one found the crash, but this one screamed quality. It's thread and cloth rare in Wilson Creek, Miss Rodriguez," he said, offering his hand. "Thank you for coming." Sofia shook it, puzzlement event. "What's this about, Mr. Carver?" Luke motioned for her to sit. "I haven't been fully open with you," he started. "I'm not just passing through. I came to Wilson County. Tosca property." "Property?" Sofia repeated. "My firm, Carver Ventures, buys land in small towns for conservation and green tourism. Wilson Creek has it all: natural splendor, quaint appeal, and," he paused, holding Herges, "folks who cherish their home." Sophia's mind whirled. Carver Ventures was a top eco-conscious investment group, meaning Luke wasn't just a drifter, he was immensely wealthy. "The thing is," Luke went on, "I visit these towns incognito, to see how people treat a regular stranger, to gauge the place without my firm's name swaying things," Hesmald wryly. "I didn't mean to crash into Thestrine, though." Sofia found her words. "Why tell me now?" "Because you saved me without knowing my status or what I could give back. And because I need your help." He pushed a binder across the table. "These are my early plans. A wildlife sanctuary, better river access, aid for local shops. But I need someone who gets this town, who sees it from like you do." Sofia opened the binder, skimming the pages. The ideas were careful, crafted to enrich, not alter, Wilson Creek spirit. "You want my input?" "More than that," Luke said. "I want to employ you as our local advisor. Your images, your clear passion for this land, that's the vision we need. Full Timaroli, solid pay." Sofia felt overwhelmed. For years, she'd struggled to make her natura photography a career while pouring coffee to serve. "Why me?" "Because you pulled me from the stream," Luke said earnestly. "That proved your heart. But your journal, your shots, they capture this place's soul. That's what sold me. You saw my journal?" I nodded. "I had to know about the woman who dove into a torrent for a stranger." Sofia glanced at the plans, then at Luke, Cowboy tycoon, who'd arrived in her town undercover and needed her aid. Life took odd twists sometimes. "I need time to consider," she said at last. "Of course," Luke replied. "Take as long as you need." As Sofia rose to leave, she hesitated. "That day at the stream, would you have escaped without help?" Luke's face grew solemn. "I doubt it." 2 months later, Sofia stood at the same spot by the Jade stream where she'd first seen Luke's truck plummet into the water. The stream had calmed, glimmering in the summer glow. She lifted her camera, capturing the light's dance on the ripples. Behind her, boots crunched on pebbles. "Found you," Luke said, joining her. "I wanted shots for the project's start," Sofia explained, lowering her lens. Luke nodded, gazing at the water. "Hard to think this is where it began. The stream united us," Sofia said softly. "Now we'll safeguard it." Luke's hand found hers, warm and firm. In the weeks they'd collaborated, something had grown between them, a bond born in chaos, deepening into something unforeseen. "Ready for the town meeting tonight?" he asked. Sofia nodded. Tonight, they'd unveil their final plans to the community plans. They'd molded together, blending his wealth with her insight into Theland and its people. "They'll embrace what we've built," she said confidently. As they headed to the road, Sofia glanced back at stream one last time. Some might call it destiny or chance, a tycoon's crash, a photographer in the right spot. But Sofia saw it as the stream's gift, drawing together two souls who might never have crossed paths, sparking a future neither could have met alone. Luke's truck, a new one, still crimson, was parked firmly on solid ground. Sofia climbed in, eagerly ready for wherever their path led next.